Watch your mouth.
Yeah, watch our mouths.
Watch your mouth. Wow, the new start time definitely was a good choice.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
I'm not wiped.
There we go. It says we're on. It's on like Donkey Kong.
I'm like Applebee's, feeling good in the neighborhood, you know?
There you go.
There you go.
Well, we'll give everyone a few minutes to creep on into the chat.
Come on, creep it. Yeah, creep on in. Be as creepy as you'd like.
So, all right. Neil's here and Jennifer Delaney. They're the first ones.
Nice.
In the live chat there. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
The night owls are starting to join us.
The night people.
Yes, Ron Brunty's here. He says hidey ho.
Hidey ho.
Hidey ho.
Well, that's a good one.
Mr. Hanky. Sorry.
You know I like that.
I like South Park a lot.
Great show. As irreverent as it gets.
Wiki Bobby's here. Albert says, hey, Janet and Grim. Hey, everybody. Hey there, Mr. Albert.
Albert.
Us night owls love it, says Jennifer. Cool. Toy Painter 1 is here with us. Cool, guys. Yes. Grandpappy's joining us. Nice. Great show, says Draugr.
Cool.
Yeah, you know, it's so great to be back because last week was not fun. Like, I really hated having to cancel the show, but I had a really bad cough.
You tried. I mean, you were
tried.
You were like almost 11th hour and you pulled the plug.
I was like, maybe I could still do it, but no, I had a really bad cough.
Yeah, because you know when those kind of sicknesses, and it wasn't the COVID. It was,
I actually tested negative twice for COVID. It was just a bad cold, and one of those bad coughs that just wouldn't let up for a while.
I think those kind of colds, the regular colds, are almost they're bad in their own way in that they trick you because when you start, you usually feel better during the day. You're like, it's not so bad. And then
because during the day, a couple days into it, I'm like, oh, I'm doing okay. But then at night, it would hit me, and I would start coughing a lot.
Something to do with,
or my nose would get stuffed up at night.
I think it's the cycle it goes through, and then towards the night, it just gets to, I don't know what the whatever you want to call it.
It's icky.
The science of it is, other than it just probably just
you just rest.
Everything just sort of gets worse at night. I would say it's a night air, but you're inside, so I don't know how that would affect you.
we watched a lot of cheesy movies.
Yes, but we do that anyway.
Oh, Grim, your mic.
I'm sitting on it. I told you to help me with that.
I told you not to put your mic on the chair.
I wasn't sitting on it.
He was.
It was in my between my legs.
Sorry about that, guys.
You didn't miss anything good. We just started yapping. All right, here we go.
Grandpappy says Miss Lady K had a cough for a while. Yeah, it's no fun.
Now, I was saying, if you couldn't hear me earlier, that just the bad part of a regular type of cold, which takes about 2 weeks to cycle through, is that you feel good in the day, as it progresses, and it starts going away. In the day, it feels nice, but at night is when it just hits your heart.
It goes in waves.
The sinuses get stuffy. And stuffier, and it's just worse.
Yeah, it was weird, but I think maybe because I haven't had a cold like that in a while, it just hit me. Boom,
They suck, but I'm just happy I didn't catch it. I don't know how that happened.
I'm really surprised you didn't get my germs.
Yes.
And
we worked so closely together.
I was trying not to cough near you and to try to keep my germs to myself.
Yes.
So I'm glad Grim was okay.
We even compared notes a few times during your sickness, and I'm not sure how.
So luckily you're good. Anyway, enough of the sickness talk.
My monkey germ. That's all the bananas I eat or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. But anyhoozle, hey everybody, welcome to another night with the Mummy and the Monkey as we do our Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangover.
This is our after show chat show.
Woo-hoo!
We did host episode 191 of the Hairy Scary Hangout.
Yep.
And the movie was Cry of the Werewolf, so that's also on our YouTube. If you missed the live feed, you can catch it later. And we get people that watch on Public Media Network through the different smart TV apps.
Correct.
And a lot of people that watch on YouTube. So
yes, and we were gone for 2 weeks, and we were explaining why. We took the first week off just to get a break, and then you got hit with a cold right after that, and we
didn't get much of a break.
Yeah, we actually got too much of a break, but we hate when that happens because we really want to come back, and we don't want to lose the momentum we build with the audience.
Yes, and we were actually looking forward to like really coming back and just having a lot of fun with it, more so than before, I think, because maybe we took it for granted or something.
Well, not only that, we had an interesting movie we hadn't shown before, and it's, a black and white werewolf movie, I mean.
Yeah.
With, I'll call it a barely wolf.
A female werewolf movie.
Okay.
You don't see that much.
Girl werewolf power, But but the weird thing is in that movie too, they never addressed the fact that it looked like a cop got bit by the werewolf at one point when they were shooting at it up in that crypt.
Yes, so there were some people that were attacked by it, but then
the lead guy
didn't turn. Because usually if you get bit by one, don't you turn into one?
Usually, but they didn't. They addressed the silver bullet thing, like we need, and it didn't even matter. They shot with regular bullets.
They addressed like the curse. I guess it's like some type of family curse.
So maybe
within the Romani people,
So maybe you can't get. So you know what? Maybe that's how they addressed it. Maybe because they made a crack about silver bullets. We're gonna pull the silver out of our teeth, our fillings, and make a bullet.
Right.
And they wound up being able to shoot the wolf with regular bullets and kill it.
Yeah.
So maybe getting bit by one doesn't turn you into it, like the traditional sort of folklore. I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Rowan says, I love the Lady Werewolves and Trick or Treat. That's an amazing movie.
That's a really, there you go.
I forgot about them.
Not me.
Yeah, that's a really good movie.
I remember them.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That was a great movie.
Mr. Tracy Williamson says it's 25 degrees here.
It is cold.
It's cold. Yeah, it's cold where we are too in Ohio. So
it's
hopefully
snowing.
you guys are keeping warm.
Last time I looked a few hours ago, it was some flurries, some snow flurries coming down. So there you go.
Jimmy says, Grim, can you sample any voice bits you want to use, or are there some you can't?
That's a good question. So far so good with anything. That is a good question. I just do what I want to do at this point, and we shall see what happens.
Well, most of the sound effects he makes on his own, like the burps and farts and stuff.
Some of those, most.
And then, like the polka music, some of those are from really obscure, old-timey records, like stuff we find at the thrift store. It's like super old and
there's some that I stopped using for a while, but then I did bring them back up because they're just quick sound bites. And, if we ever were told to not use any anymore, I would stop using them, of course, because I've got plenty of stuff. I've got stuff from prank phone calls I did back as a kid that there's a lot of that in there. TV talk shows are a great, because, how are they going to figure that one out? They'd have to go through every episode of every talk show and listen to every hour. And, so the celebrity voices are probably the harder thing that you have to worry about more.
Oh, okay.
But, there's a lot of other sources I have that have nothing, that are my own,
And real quick, the birthday boy, Bone Jangler, is in the chat with us.
Bones!
So happy birthday, Bone Jangler.
Yes.
This is technically at
an hour away
tomorrow.
From, but depending on what time of that day he was born, so not until then.
Yeah.
But, that's close enough.
Close enough, yeah.
But yeah, that depends how technical people are.
So, okay, werewolf folklore. I just out of curiosity, I was looking up the werewolf folklore because I was like, well, how far back does the werewolf stuff go?
You looked this up?
I did. I looked it up.
Gosh.
When I was putting all the show notes together, and I've got all my scribbles.
I believe it's called lycanthropy.
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 Or lycanthropy, lycanthropy.
Oh my gosh, this is a tomato thing? No,
tomato.
I've always heard it pronounced lycanthropy.
But I guess it goes all the way back to ancient Greece.
Wow.
Yeah. There's lots of like the origins. There's like European folklore. There's like Greek. I guess the
Polish.
Like some people say online, like the legend of Gilgamesh is believed to be the oldest form. It tells the story of a woman who turned her lover into a wolf. So they think that might have been the start of the werewolf or people transforming into wolves, which is interesting because that goes back really far back.
But Native Americans also have skinwalkers, right? They have those legends of.
Yeah, that's true. Where they would transform into things.
And I'm not sure how far back that culture goes. I know it's at least 20,000 years here, if not maybe even more.
And then in Greek mythology, Zeus turned, and this might be where the term lycanthropy came from. Lycoans is the his name, and I'm
Lycos.
probably butchering the name.
You are, but go ahead.
He was the son of Pelasgus, and
Oh, John Pulaskis, yeah. He lives right down the street from my other friend. Yeah.
I know, right? I'm mispronouncing these
the
terribly.
Pulaskis. They got a daughter and a son and a little...
But Zeus turned this guy's kids into wolves. He turned the sons into wolves. So he was getting back at him for serving him the remains of a boy who was sacrificed.
Oh, my.
So Zeus was very angry about that.
What's the other one where
turned his sons into wolves?
The boys were raised by it. Well, I'm trying to think of that old Greek mythology thing. It's going to tip my tongue. I can't think of it.
But there's lots of different folklores. I guess with the Vikings.
Folklore.
Folklore stories.
Yes.
The Vikings, there were stories of magical pelts, animal pelts that would transform people into the animals. And it was for a certain amount of days where you had this magical power of the animal.
Didn't they believe also that the moon was coughed up by a wolf or something like that, or the world was created by a wolf?
That I'm not sure, but I know, they had, instead of heaven, they had Valhalla.
Yes, that has nothing to do with werewolves or wolves.
That was their, after.
You're not learning anything here tonight, let's just face it. We are not, Lord Kaufman was totally wrong.
We are not very educational.
We are not better than NPR. NPR would do a much better job of explaining the origin of werewolves.
But I just thought that was kind of interesting. And I wrote down some notes thinking it was neat. And then, so the story, the werewolf stuff and the vampire stuff both seem to go way back to ancient times. And then they have the weird, silver, the silver cross, silver bullet.
Yeah, the Coors silver bullet. Coors Light silver bullet.
That they are sensitive to or whatever. Just hit close on that screen.
I think I'm hitting it.
Here, let me press it. Don't press any
I'm
buttons.
near. I
got this.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't press buttons.
Yeah, but without any specific not facts, but the actual things, I don't know what we're talking about here.
Okay. Well, and then the 1500s and 1600s, during the time of people being accused of witchcraft and witches, there were also incidents where people claimed that there were werewolf attacks, and that some people claimed that they were werewolves, or that they were cursed by a witch and turned into a werewolf. So they were burned at the stake because obviously, that's just how medieval people handled things. They burned everybody
Before
up.
they burned people at the stake, did they ask them how they wanted it to be burned?
Well done, or extra crispy,
do you think
or medium rare.
Do you want a little pink in the middle? Like we're done burning, you want a little pink in the middle still there?
Yeah.
Left for you? I don't know if they asked them that. That would be kind of mean.
So I just thought that was interesting. That's all.
Well, and I thought, too, that something to do with werewolves is that there might have been a medical condition that some people suffered from where they...
were extra hairy?
Yeah, well, something like that, yeah. That they would get sort of affected by the tides of the moon or something. And
well, the full moon does do a lot of weird things to people.
To women.
Well, to people in general. With their behaviors.
It can. Well, because they say because we're 98% water.
Yes, and the moon kind of controls the way
the tides,
the tides in the ocean and everything. That makes sense.
And when things are acting weird, we'll look up in the sky that night and it'll be a dang full moon.
Yes, if there's something weird going on, I'm like, is there a full moon today?
Multiple things. It's just but who knows? Again, not one scientific fact.
No, not one scientific fact,
right
but
now.
Sometimes it makes sense.
So what do the folks have to say out there?
So there's a lot of comments.
I think
we're going to read the comments.
I think we're amiss. We're remiss.
You can usually find a werewolf at Trader Vic's, says Gary.
That's true.
Let's see.
People confuse hippies with werewolves. Or
Sasha
hipsters.
is a werewolf. Yes, she was a werewolf in one of our skits.
Yes, which I neglected to play tonight.
You didn't play tonight.
Then when we repeat this movie, when we show this movie again, it'll be in that one. So either way, I wouldn't have played it twice.
Rebel Ghoul says, I think my ancestry traces back far enough to the Vikings, so that's neat and explains a lot. Fun. Insane Jay says, I've watched that show, Secret of Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes.
It's kind of in the style of Ghost Hunters. Don't know if it's actually legit, but it's fun to watch.
I found that on a videotape not that long ago. Somebody taped it off a TV, and I put it on Facebook that I found a copy, and someone just messaged me and go, hey, man, can you make me a copy? I made them a DVD copy of it. I burned it to DVD and sent it to them just for, they asked for it.
That's cool.
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah, we don't know if it's real or not, but it's definitely interesting
That's
to
my
watch.
that's my favorite Hidden Valley salad dressing. Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, God.
It's delicious.
That's a
Got
weird
some,
flavor
It's got
of
some
ranch.
hair in it, you know.
There's some scabs in it.
Bristly hair and blood.
Hair and scabs.
But it's good. It's delicious. Crunchy.
Bojangler says, I still recommend The Cursed as a werewolf film. It was released a year ago on my birthday. It's on Amazon Prime. Ooh.
I heard him mention that.
Yes, you mentioned that once before, and we keep forgetting to look it up.
Okay, so good werewolf films.
So he said it's a good werewolf film.
One of my favorites. It's sitting there. We have to watch it, and you've never seen it before.
Which one?
It's called.
There's a lot I still need to see.
Yeah, it's Dog Soldiers.
Yeah, that I have not seen.
So good. From what I remember, it's really, really good. I was impressed. British movie. Probably made in the late 90s.
Okay.
Very good. Different.
There's a ton of comments here. Wow. Okay.
American Werewolf in London is a classic. I mean,
that's a great movie.
You can't beat that one.
Yeah, that's an amazing movie.
I have a Western one where it's set in the West with a werewolf.
Oh, a Western werewolf?
Yeah, it's one of those Dollar Tree finds. You know, it's like a direct-to-video type of movie.
Called?
I don't remember, but I do have it laying around somewhere.
I like Westerns, and
it was
like
interesting.
werewolves.
Yeah, it was like trying to figure out who the werewolf was. These bad guys take over a saloon, hold everybody hostage, but there's a werewolf before all this, kind of stalking everybody and picking everybody off one by one.
So when I
Pretty
see
cool.
Western and horror film,
You're
or
in.
Western and sci-fi, or a Western and steampunk, I think that stuff's cool.
Except for Cowboys and Aliens. Don't see that movie.
I never saw that one.
You're not missing anything.
Isn't that more of like a kid's one?
No. It's with Daniel, what's his name? Not Radcliffe, but the one that Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, okay.
No, it's Daniel, the guy who plays James Bond. I think he's in it. And he's trying to do a, how you doing there, partner? It doesn't.
Howdy, partner.
His accent's weird, but the whole thing is just goofy.
Naoko's here, all the way from Japan.
Naoko, hey, she watches a lot of horror movies.
I would
and
say
science fiction movies.
konnichiwa, but it's not daytime, so konbanwa. I think that means good night. Or
it's
good
not
evening.
night over there, is it? It's day over there.
Oh, it probably is daytime.
So you are
over there.
konnichiwa.
So konnichiwa would probably be more accurate.
There you go.
Yeah, because they're like a day ahead of us.
Oh, Louie. Louie's just all a puddle of Lou right now.
He is. He loves to cuddle with you.
But then, and if you like, okay, now there's also Cats, like the Cat People.
Oh, the Cat People's a great movie.
The original 1940s ones are really good, and then the remake with Nastasha Kinski is pretty good too.
Cool. So she says it's lunchtime there.
Oh, okay. So whatever
It's
midday
lunchtime.
is.
Yeah. So it's like midday there. So that's like 18 hours ahead of us, I think.
At least.
Yeah. Around that time frame. David Phillips says, years ago, John Saxon told me he was going to be in a series called Warwolf on Sci-Fi, but I don't think it ever happened.
How's that spelled?
Please correct me if anyone knows differently.
How's it spelled?
Like warwolf.
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 Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He just passed away like last year. And
A couple years ago, more than that.
Maybe 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Which sucks because
It would have been nice
we wanted to actually write to him to tell him we were putting him in every movie we were hosting.
Cease and Desist by John Saxon.
Oh, gosh. But it would have been interesting to see what he thought of that. But we never got to tell him.
Leave me alone.
Probably like, why the heck are you bothering me?
Right. Now, is a wolf a type of dog?
Yeah. Like a wild dog. Like a wolf.
Follow me here.
Dogs are related to wolves.
What about foxes?
Foxes?
Are they related to wolves or dogs?
I think so, somewhat.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm bringing that up because we lost a fox recently. Raquel Welch.
Oh.
Speaking of foxes.
Poor Raquel Welch. But you know what? She was like 82.
Yes. It was a good run as far as age goes.
She had a good career, and hopefully she had a good life. There were pictures that they put out of her just from a month or two ago. I guess she was getting her nails done somewhere, and she still looked great. She still looked nice and put together. You know, she still looked really cute.
Yeah, but farewell to a sex symbol, a great actress, in a bunch of movies that I love. I got one queued up, and I have to hunt another one down. I'd love to watch the 1 Million Years BC movie, right? The Cave Woman
everyone
movie.
knows her for that
I've got
movie.
but there's another one I loved as a kid growing up that I didn't forget about, but I'd love to watch because I haven't seen it in forever. You'd probably like it a lot. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called Fantastic Voyage. Not the Coolio song.
No, I've seen it. It's been a long time.
You know what it's about?
Isn't it like an adventure type of thing?
A Fantastic Voyage, you think?
Yeah.
Is it basing it on the
is
title?
it similar to Sinbad?
Not at all.
Where they go on an adventure or
Not.
something?
They do go on an adventure,
Maybe
but
I'm missing something.
no, it's a really cool movie because it's a bunch of scientists that have to save this guy's life, and they shrink them down to microscopic size, and they go into a ship, and they are in the body, and this guy's body.
I've seen that.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I think I've seen
it. Was
that
one of my favorites as a
That
kid.
might have been on TV years ago.
It definitely was
I
a
think
lot.
I saw that on TV a long
But
time ago.
it's like a late '60s movie, I believe.
Yeah.
And or early '70s, and I loved it as a kid. Every time it would come on, because it was just an interesting idea. It wasn't fighting aliens; it was fighting antibodies.
Ooh, Ron Brunty, Mother, Jugs, and Speed was
That's a good
fun
one.
too. We watched that
That's
over.
Bill Cosby's in that one, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bill Cosby's in it.
We saw that over our friend Pete's house.
Yes, we saw it at our friend Pete's house on actual film.
Yeah, on the 16 millimeter.
On 16 millimeter film, and that was a fun experience to
Well,
see it.
it.
It was a nice summer night. It had the projector going.
Yep.
And you got to hear the projector.
It was almost like being in a. It was almost like being at a drive-in or something,
Yeah.
where it probably actually was shown a lot when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's in a ton of stuff. Raquel was really a really good actress and good to look at. Let's put it that way.
Good actress and good looks. So all of it.
Yep.
And it seems like she was a nice person too.
Who knows? You didn't
who
hear
knows?
anything bad about her.
Yeah,
which
we
is
never
nice.
heard anything bad about her. Never heard controversy. Her daughter was a model and actress.
Connie Welch.
Yes, and she was also pretty.
She's in another movie you should see called Cocoon.
I have not seen that movie.
Very good movie. Very interesting. It's definitely one of those, staple movies that everybody saw. That everybody loved. It has a Twilight Zone sort of feel to it. It's very good.
Okay, I'm just looking at the other comments here. Let's see. Muppet Show was good too. says
Okay.
Ron. Okay.
She was on. She might have been
Was
on.
she on the Muppet Show?
She probably
Maybe she
was.
made an appearance on there. A lot of celebrities did.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Well,
actually.
that was the vehicle for the
I was
Muppet
actually
Show.
very shocked. They had a lot of celebrities on that show.
Kim Jong-un was on there, I think.
Thea says, "Oh my gosh, that was Raquel's daughter,
Tani, yes.
Tawny. I guess she didn't know."
Yep, Tani Welch. Look her up. Tahnee. Tani.
Yes. And then Bone Jangler says Stella Stevens was really nice to meet. Loved her in the Nutty Professor, the original
I
one.
love Nutty Professor. Yeah,
That's
the
a cute movie.
The Jerry Lewis movie. Yes.
Yeah, that's a cute movie.
I do like both. I like Eddie Murphy's version a lot too.
Oh,
to be
that
quite
one's
frank.
also cute.
The first one is
It's
like
fun.
a classic to me.
They're both good movies.
I could watch that and just laugh my butt off all day. But the Jerry Lewis with the shoes, the wet feet.
Yeah.
He takes the shoes off and he still make crunchy sounds. Loved it. Anyway, Stella Stevens, a great actress.
We have a super chat, Grim.
Uh-oh,
Get
we
your
do.
Barba Papa ready.
Let me get it handy.
Horror Cash sent a $2 super chat. Thank you. He
All
says,
adds
"Great
up.
show."
Thank you.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Jason Scarella, June Lockhart played the first lady werewolf in a werewolf movie.
Really?
June Lockhart?
From Lost in Space?
I'll have to look that up because I thought Cry of the Werewolf was one of the first ones.
Uh-oh.
But the very first one was from 1913. And we mentioned it on the Harry Scary Hangout. It was just called The Werewolf, and it was, I don't know who the actress's name was, but it was about a Navajo woman, a native woman who turns into a werewolf.
Ah.
And it was a lost film that was destroyed in the 1924 Universal Studios fire.
Along with London at Midnight.
Yeah, that's... I still hope that someone will find a bunch of old film reels in a basement or attic somewhere.
Well, the thing is...
and that they'll be restored and saved.
The hope is that some of these prints that were made for other markets in other countries, might exist somewhere in some dusty old bin. Who knows?
Oh, Bone Jangler says She-Wolf of London, 1946. Okay, well, Cry of the Werewolf was 1944. So that was like a few years later. But that's also cool because, those older movies to have a female werewolf is like, you don't see that very often. Girl power.
Okay, I mean, when you're getting torn to shreds by a creature, I don't think you care whether it's a male or female.
Well, here's we've talked
This
about...
would be so much better if it was
Well,
a female
well,
ripping me apart.
As the viewer, I appreciate it because in these old-timey monster movies, women are always like, oh my, the monster's gonna get me.
Screaming.
Yeah, they're always like the screamy, like
Screaming.
damsel in distress.
Falling down.
They don't even, they fall, their shoe falls off, they pass out or whatever.
They
faint.
make terrible coffee their husbands don't like.
and
the guy's ready to let her go.
They don't even try to fight. That's what drives me nuts. It's like they don't even try to fight
You
this
gotta love
off
that.
or to be brave or to do anything that's like
It probably wasn't until the Alien movies
Ripley.
where Ripley's just kicking
Yeah.
everyone's ass. Which is interesting because
Or the 70s with the Final Girls.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know we're kind of all over the place, but something, it's interesting. You see things, you're watching movies, and you're like, hey, I wonder if so-and-so got this. We were watching a movie where a guy was fighting a dinosaur with a forklift, which reminded me of...
Oh, what movie was that?
That wasn't Valley of the Guanji. It was...
No.
Oh, geez.
Was it just Dinosaur? Or
Dinosaurus.
Dinosaurus. We watched that on Creature Features.
Dinosaurus.
Creature Features hosted that.
And at the end, they're in like a construction site, and this guy's fighting a T-Rex with a fork, with some kind of dump truck.
Okay, real quick. Albert, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Oh.
It's been a rough week at work. Thanks for providing me an hour of enjoyment and escape. Thanks, Albert. Glad you could join us. Wasn't Janet in a movie where she auditioned a good scream, says John.
Oh my gosh, that killed him. What was that called? The one where we were tied up.
Oh, Never Escape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was
And you won Scream Queen. You won
I
the
won
louder
a Scream Queen
trophy.
competition.
Yes,
I've got the trophy here somewhere.
At what was that?
It was
Horror
some
Hound.
convention. I don't remember.
Just say it.
I don't
do
remember. Horror something.
It wasn't Horror Hound. I forget.
It was one of those indie ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought. Okay, Horror Hound is a different thing altogether.
Yeah, Horror Hound that wasn't there, but yeah, we haven't been to that one in a while.
No, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger though.
Werewolf Woman, 1976 is great, but you can't show that on here.
There's
Too
so
naughty.
much nudity.
Yeah, that's more of like a grindhouse kind of.
It's cool though.
It is cool.
It's like all. She's like really hairy werewolf with.
Oh, what happened here? You're offline. How are we offline?
I don't know.
Oh, it looks like it's still going. Are we okay, guys? That was weird.
You mentioned Werewolf Woman and.
That was strange. Can you see us and hear us okay? We're back. Okay, it must have had a weird
dropped out.
or
Well, we had some issues earlier too with it, so.
Okay. Every now and then it does this weird thing.
Well, okay, werewolf movies I didn't like. I didn't like the remake with Benicio del Toro. Did you see that one? It's
Which
just
one?
the Wolfman. It's Universal. I guess it's part of the Universal trying to make it.
No,
and
I
it was
haven't
very
seen it.
spotty how they released all these, like that Dracula.
Oh, Werewolf by Night I liked.
Werewolf by Night was great.
That was great.
The Marvel,
That was on
yeah.
Disney.
A lot of people slammed it, but I think more people liked it. I mean, it was totally an homage to the old comics. It was a short movie. It was an hour-long Halloween special they did.
Yes.
And they even had the man thing.
Was it the giant man thing?
The giant size man thing? Well, that's all depends. It's a relative, measurement.
I always laugh at that title. It always makes me giggle.
You always have to, if you
Giant size.
you have to pull out your giant size
sure.
man thing every now and then. If you own one, you have to pull it out. Of course, yes. You have a Beavis and Butthead moment. But,
Yes.
But you could also flip it and say werewolf movies you didn't like I was saying, the remake of The Wolfman. There's another one with the Jack Nicholson one, Wolf, I think it was called, with Michelle Pfeiffer and Jack. That was interesting.
Yeah.
It was weird. I have to see it
There's
again.
a lot of them I still need to see.
I think I only seen it once, and I was like, I didn't really care for it that much, but I'd check it out again because Nicholson, as a werewolf, kind of weird.
Yeah, Naoko brought up the silent film I mentioned earlier. Yeah, The Werewolf. It's from 1913.
Top #1 movie with a werewolf in it. It's not all werewolf based, but it has a big part of it. I think it is werewolf oriented. Van Helsing.
Van Helsing had werewolves in it, vampires, and
Now the werewolf I thought in it was cool. It was a big black werewolf.
yeah.
It was really
There's
neat.
parts of Van Helsing that I liked, but all in all, that was a bad movie.
I've talked about it before. I lose it at the Hot Topic vampires.
Yeah, I don't like the.
Once they start, and that's like almost.
They were too fashionable.
There's a fight with a bunch of like
Yeah.
vampires in this little town square, which was kind of cool. But like I said in the Kate Beckinsale's vinyl clad butt can't save this one.
her leather pants. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't.
Couldn't save the
And there's
movie.
a lot of the wacky technology and stuff that never existed, but that's fine too. I can deal with that. But it's once those Hot Topic vampires come out, I'm out. I last time I tried to watch it, that's when I turned it off. I said, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Thea says, "OMG, The Howling." I remember that.
Oh my
The
God,
Howling's
that's got to
good.
be number one.
That's like one of those really good ones.
It's got so much going on in that movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember this one. Gary Smith says, "Anyone remember the TV series
It's
Werewolf?"
Yeah, with Chuck Connors.
Yeah.
You know that one.
The Rifleman.
Yes.
Chuck Connors. And then he was also the bad guy in Tourist Trap.
He was.
He was like the creepy dude.
Chuck Connors had a really interesting career, but yeah, Werewolf. I think I have some episodes of that on those beta tapes.
I know of it, but I have not watched it.
Yep, I think it's on one
I
of
know
those
of it.
Betamax tapes right there where I'm pointing.
On those tapes?
Yeah,
there?
I bought a big batch of old Betamax.
And why haven't we seen that yet?
I have to put it on DVD, but I think we have it.
Okay.
Like at least 1 or 2 episodes.
Okay.
Speaking of television werewolf shows,
Yes.
there was one. It was it wasn't really. It was a kid raised by wolves. It was called Lucan.
I don't know that one.
It was probably early '80s. I'm forgetting I'm thinking it's like early '80s because there were news stories back in the late '70s where they literally found a kid that was raised by wolves for real somewhere in the world.
There was another story that was maybe in the past 10, 15 years. There was a little girl that grew up in the jungle of Cambodia. And they found her years later. They thought the kid was lost or like eaten by animals.
She's feral.
She's feral.
Yeah.
She was like a wild person.
Feral people have been raised by.
Wow. Like she just somehow figured things out, or maybe another animal helped her or something. Like a Jungle Book type of thing. But it was like wow, like real for real?
Yeah.
Like that actually happened in modern times.
Yep. And Will Ferrell's kids actually were raised feral because that was their last name.
Ah.
So were Colin Farrell's
Oh,
kids.
jeez.
Just saying. Anyone with the last name of Farrell was raised feral.
Rebel Ghoul says, "I'm glad someone mentioned that. Ha ha ha. I loved that show as a kid."
But Lucan or Werewolf? Probably Lucan.
Probably that one.
Yeah, that was again. It was one of those, I think it was just like a 1 season type of deal, but we all thought it was cool as kids. Oh, this kid was raised by a wolf, and he wasn't a wolf, but he had wolf powers. Maybe his eyes turned a weird color sometimes. I haven't seen it. It's probably on YouTube.
Probably.
At least the
Everything
pilot.
is nowadays.
Yeah, at least the pilot.
Potted Otter, that's a fun name, says all children are feral.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them can be, yeah.
A lot of kids nowadays act like they're feral.
Yeah.
Running around all crazy.
All right. Well, we should probably wrap this up in a few here.
Because you're the mummy, you get to always wrap everything up. That's not fair.
Okay. Well, you can.
Just kidding.
You can wrap me up. More bandages.
And you know what a smaller.
And then I'll go to bed in the sarcophagus here.
So when you bring up the point of like there's like as far as the monster category goes, there's not as many female werewolves. What about female like Frankenstein monsters? There's just the ones we know, right?
Oh, Bone Jangler says La Loba 1965 is a great Mexican female werewolf film. Actually, I was reading about that film when I was looking up other werewolf stuff, and it does look interesting. I have not seen it though.
Yeah, we should try to find more female monster movies.
Yeah, we should.
Like Frankenhooker.
Because especially February is a double whammy. February is Black History Month, and it's Women of Horror Month. So we could even look into different actresses who are African American and that were in horror films. So there's a lot of coolness there.
Yeah, if you can find that, that's Okay. You talking about for a subject matter
No,
or
just
for
for
the
us,
movies?
for us
'Cause-
to look up movies to watch.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'd love to. Yeah.
Because there's the movie Ma. We haven't seen that one
That
yet.
sounds, because it's
That's
a
a
horror
horror
movie.
film.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Right.
I thought you meant stuff we could show on our
No,
like,
not that we could show, but stuff that we could look
I
up
don't even
and
know
watch.
where to begin. Oh, okay. Yeah. I wish we could
Yeah.
show all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And Thea says, Mothra is my favorite female monster. Aww, I love Mothra. Mothra's awesome. And Rebel says, I'm going to message you guys some links. Yeah, please do.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Very cool.
Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, so we're, it's always fun to sit down and talk about these things and try to figure out, I don't know what we're figuring out, but it's fun to go down memory lane.
We're just talking stuff.
Fun to go down memory lane.
Talking shows.
Yeah, because just that the werewolf topic itself. I mean, there's all kind. I mean, the werewolves are very prevalent in our culture still.
Yeah, werewolves, vampires, all of those monsters are still very popular. All these years later, and a lot of that stuff started with like ancient folklore, ancient mythology.
It started with the animal itself and people
and
basing, all the powers that wolf possessed or that animal possessed.
Yeah.
And then they anthropomorphize it into what a human would be, and there you go. Man's fears, they project them onto a person.
Yes.
Fear of the actual animal.
Fear of the unknown.
Well, because they were predators. I mean, those are predators.
Yes.
And, man is what the alpha predator. But, I wouldn't take a wolf on in a fight without a knife or a gun.
They're tough.
You'll lose that one.
They're very tough.
The people used to eat people. They probably still
I
do.
would just keep my distance and let the wolves...
You don't want a pet wolf?
No. Let them live out with the other wolves. They're not really meant to be pets.
But there's a movie coming out. It's not a wolf, but it's what I kind of want to see. And it's a real movie. Have you seen the trailer for Cocaine Bear?
Oh, that movie looks messed up.
It looks
like
crazy.
What in the actual?
Like you really
is that
even
really
need
based off a true story?
It says it's based on something. It's some sort of based on. It doesn't mean it's 100% true, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, a wild bear is bad enough, but coked up.
When does that one come out?
It eats like a kilo of coke or something.
Gosh.
I don't know, but I saw even more previews for it today, and this kid's up a tree goes, "Climb the tree, bears can't climb." And this one guy's, "Yes, they can." It looks really messed up, but
it happened. The bear died, says Bone Jangler.
I would imagine so.
That movie looks crazy, says Jimmy.
It looks interesting.
That poor bear.
And just to call it what it
bear.
is kind of funny too. So.
Jared says Hammer was great at having female monster leads. Yes,
they were. That's true.
Yes, the Hammer films, stronger female characters. Beautiful costumes, beautiful actors.
Beautiful cleavage.
A lot of cleavage, yes. A lot of blood that looked like bright red paint, but that's okay. It was
because
done in an artsy way.
I'm sure it's right to take some of the shock away, but
yes.
it doesn't even matter. We just saw a movie, speaking of female monsters, where it was a moth. What was that?
Oh, and I think it might have been a Hammer film.
It was a Hammer film.
Yes, it was,
It wasn't Curse of the Moth.
What the hell was the name of it?
We saw a couple of Hammer...
but she was this, she turned into a moth and ate people?
Drank their blood.
She would drink their blood and leave the
part of
bodies in the woods.
Yeah, eat part of your face
She would,
off.
maul them, and I'm thinking, what moth drinks blood?
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense at
We
all.
did wind up turning it off
We
like
turned it
3/4
off
of the way.
halfway through because it was, really dragged out
Oh, it was really painful.
and kind of boring.
But there
it was a neat idea. It just wasn't.
Again, we're doing a horrible job relaying any of the actual names. There was another one.
It was like Shriek of the Blood
Creature.
Whatever the
It was almost like Blood Beast. It was something Blood Beast.
Something blood, whatever.
Because I thought it was Night of the Blood Beast.
Killer moth lady.
But I think it might have been Shriek of the Blood Beast or something.
Yeah.
But there was another one with a weird name, the Roanoke or something like that. Remember?
The Blood Beast Terror, says Bone Jangler.
Yeah.
Is that it? The Blood Beast Terror?
And remember Blood Beast was in the title.
From 1968. It was on Tubi.
Yeah.
We were looking up a lot of old movies on Tubi.
And there was another one where it was a woman. She lived in the bottom of that lake.
Did she live in a pineapple under the sea?
No, right next to that was her neighbor SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
But she was like in a lock or like a little lake. And it was like there was like this underground chamber, remember? And she would come up like a mermaid.
Yes, she was like this sea
it was a weird
monster
name.
thing.
The Rowan.
The something, and she was a sea monster that ate people.
Yeah.
And she would get like these big teeth.
But she fell in love with one guy.
She did. She fell in love with one dude, and she was
Wanted
like...
them to bring him down in her little
She wanted to stay... She
pineapple
wanted
under
him...
his...
Yeah.
But he was not having any of that.
No.
And they wound up crushing her, like tearing her place up.
They they set off explosives,
like
I think, in her underground lair
the
or underwater lair.
The Who in a hotel room and the Stones just tore up her crib and ruined all that crap for her.
James Westgarella says The Gorgon, scary hammer lady monster movie. The Gorgon's a great movie.
That's a good Hammer film.
That's a very good movie.
Creepy, really creepy. The Gorgon.
And Jean says Lady Frankenstein is public domain. I'm gonna have to see if we could play that one.
We have. I don't think.
Have we played Lady Frankenstein before?
We might have. I have to check. I don't think we did.
Or
but
was it the?
I thought that had copyrights on it too.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to check.
Well,
pretty much, it's whatever YouTube will allow us. So.
And Godzilla 1998 was a female, wasn't it, or was it asexual sort of? What they call it, unisex, like a worm.
That's the American Godzilla.
Yeah, 1998.
Yeah, 1998.
Yeah, it could reproduce on its own. Yeah,
I think that one was female. She laid eggs.
Yeah, but
she had like the baby Godzilla eggs or whatever.
So there's that. And it had eyelashes.
Did she have eyelashes?
No.
I was like, wait a minute. She's a lizard. She doesn't have hair.
That's how you make it. Anything
you give her like a bow and eyelashes.
You put eyelashes on it and make them wear something pink.
And then she's girly.
It's a girl. Anyway, so we digress.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. I'm one tired little mummy here.
What a night! What a comeback, right? I mean, after a 2-week hiatus, we're back on doing our thing.
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad we're both back. It was a lot of fun chatting with all of you about movies. There's a lot of movies I still need to see.
And we'll take better notes next time. We think we need to do a little bit better research. I know we just threw this topic out there last minute, but
yeah, I just threw it all together earlier today, like just writing notes down.
But
you guys talking with us, we can
exchange stuff that way.
Exchange notes and exchange ideas.
We got something to check out. The Bone Jangler recommended, The Cursed.
Yeah, so very cool.
Check that one out.
I wrote it down this time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So movie watching for the weekend.
Yeah. All right, so good night, good fright, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button. It does help our channel. If you missed the Harry Scary Hangout, you could go back and catch it later and hit the like button on that. And we will be back with hopefully a podcast, maybe on Sunday. If not, we will put up some other little stuff in between, maybe shorts or a vlog or something.
Some little Mummy Monkey ditty.
Yeah.
Related ditty, yeah.
All right, well, good night, good fright, everybody. Mwah.
Happy birthday, Bone Jangler!